Good day, everyone. So, for this week, we are going to have the short period workout principle. So, we are going to discuss about the circuit training, the high intensity interval training, and Tabata. So, we are also going to discuss its differences and what are the expected routines on each of these workout principles. This is in line with our expected assessment all throughout the module 2. So there will be 4 weeks that you are going to do the workout routines as per your submitted workout plan. Before going to the submissions, let's first discuss the short period workout principle. So we have this outcome. So at the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify short period workout principles, its methods, and its advantages and disadvantages. So let's start with the circuit training. So circuit training is an exercise routine which is performed one after the other with minimal rest in between. So the main point of circuit training is it develops or it helps to improve the musculoskeletal system or your strength or muscular endurance. So also, this is also to improve, as what I have said, strength, endurance, and overall fitness. So the target muscle groups or the exercises can target different muscle groups, combining with cardiovascular and strength training. But the main point is to improve the musculoskeletal system. So the benefits of circuit training are the following. First one is it's time efficient. It works with multiple muscle groups within a short period of time. So it's very versatile. It can be tailored to different fitness levels and goals, depends on your preference. Also, keep things interesting, especially by the time that you were able to get through the specific routines that you are going to do or that you're able to do every week, so you can increase the intensity. Depends on your preferences. So, for the module 2 assessment, you are expected to perform such routine that you're able to make according to what you need and what you can do. So here is just an example of what can be a circuit training look like. So expectedly, we are going to have the warm-up exercises. So it can be jumping jacks, arm circles, body weight squats. It depends on the person who is doing or who is preparing for to such workout routine. So suggested exercises right after warm-up exercise are the following. So circuit training can be performed each for 30 to 60 seconds. Then move to the next one. Before moving to the next one, you need to have rest for your body to prepare for the next one. So this can be repeated 2 to 3 times. Depends on your goal and depends on your kind of or what can you do for now. So we have push-ups, body weight squats, plank, burpees, lunges, mountain climbers, dumbbell rows, high knees. So as you can see here, it's very focused on developing the musculoskeletal organs or musculoskeletal system. There is a minimal cardio. So after that, we have the cool down exercise. So stretching major muscle groups, deep breathing exercise. This is also to let your body rest and just to get through what you had performed previously. So there are tips of doing circuit training. First one is to choose the right weights. Especially if you're a beginner, 5 pounds is good. And if you were able to get through with that kind of weight, then on the next level or on the next sessions, you may or you can improve the weights that previously you weren't able to have. for your body to have consistency. Also, focus on form. This is also very important just to prevent ourselves to getting injuries while doing such work. So all throughout these sessions or all throughout these module 2 assessments, we are going to have the proper way of doing such exercises, which will be assisted by your professors during your classes. Then, modify as needed. There are suggested exercises that I was able to present to you earlier, but then again, it should also be adjusted on what exercises that you can do based on your fitness level. So if you, as of now, you cannot do the standard push-up, you can do the knee push-ups. During our assessments, if there are some exercises that you weren't able to do or if you're able to perform, then we were able to prepare alternative exercises for you to follow. And if all throughout the coming weeks or the succeeding weeks, maybe you can slightly or slowly approach or perform the standard exercise. Then, always stay hydrated before doing the workout, during and after, maybe in between the rest, especially if it's during the workouts. Okay, for us to, it helps us, or it helps you being fueled up during such routines or sets. So what are the advantages? So there are a lot of advantages in doing circuit training. So it's very time efficient. It also offers a lot of variety of exercises, which prevents you to become bored, especially if you are not used to doing anything within a day. Then, since this is an exercise, expectedly, it improves overall fitness, especially if you are doing this. There is maybe twice a day, thrice a week, twice a week, and increasing the intensity for you to really be motivated on the coming weeks, and also to prevent um, flat being flat when it comes to um, achieving your um, weight or what body type that you want to achieve all throughout perform or right after doing such routines. Next, it's also flexible. It varies from the beginners to the advanced athletes. It can be done without equipment or with equipment, especially when doing strength training. So if you already have, or if you really want to improve your muscular strength and endurance, maybe you can incorporate using dumbbells, or if you don't have any dumbbells, maybe you can use modified dumbbells or water bottles with sands or water. It's up to you, especially if you really want to have or to improve your endurance and strength. Then, expectedly, since this is an exercise, this is an activity, it also burns calories. Next, it also can boost metabolism. As we grow older, our metabolism decreases. So, for us to really keep track or keep up with the demands within the society or within our environment, doing circuit training can really help us to maintain the metabolic rate that we have right now, especially if you are into that level that you are still healthy or you are still fit. Then, group motivation. So, often perform in group settings, so that there's a study that if you were able or doing exercises with someone or with a group can really increase your motivation in doing such activities. So, um, during our classes, it's really fun if you are going to do this with your classmates, because it motivates you, and together with them, maybe you can increase the intensity right after every week that you are going to do such activities. So if we have advantages, then we have disadvantages. So it can also be can cause of a limited focus. May not allow enough time to focus on specific muscle groups because you are only focused on such group. Maybe you are only focused on improving your triceps or biceps or any part of your musculoskeletal system. Then fatigue. That's why it's suggested that if you are doing such training, you really need to, especially if you are a beginner, you should really start with minimal time of doing such routine so that your body will not be shocked in doing the succeeding routines or succeeding exercises within the specific set. Because if you're over fatigued, automatically it can increase injury risk. We should really maintain our body, or we should really um, prepare our bodies to increasing the intensity every time that we are doing such routine, especially if you are used to it, right? You are used to it already. That's the time that you can increase the intensity. That's why for our assessments, every week we are expected to increase the intensity of the workout routine that we are used to have on the previous weeks. Then space requirements. It also depends on the circuit design that you like. Then it also requires planning. So if you're a person that just or it's you have an unplanned routine and you go into circuit training, it will not be as effective as the planned exercise or the planned routine. So always have that routine plan or that planned routine so that it can be followed and you can see if there are some exercises that will not benefit you. Maybe you can omit it and replace it with another. Then not ideal for all goals. So automatically, it's the main focus of circuit training is to improve strength and hypertrophy, and traditional weight training may be more effective, especially if you're into bulking. Because circuit training, aside from it, is focused on strength and endurance. It's also incorporated with cardio. So if you're just into bulking, then maybe you can have or find or search for another workout exercises that can help you have a bulkier muscle. Then risk of overtraining. So if that's why as what I have said earlier, it requires planning so that you will know what is your goal, your body weight, what is your goal for when it comes to your body weight, what is your goal when it comes to the exercise routine that you're expected to do. Because if you are if you are unplanned, or if your routines are unplanned, then expect that there will always be overtraining. So, and also it can lead to burnout, which can also be the reason why you can be demotivated when doing such routines and you will stop. Okay, so always plan ahead of what you are expected to do. What are the days that you need to rest in between the days that you are doing the routines? And as what I have said, since doing such exercises, regardless of what type of exercises, discipline is very important. Then injury risk. So always, especially the footwear. Nowadays, footwears are frowned upon. As long as you are wearing shoes, then it's okay. But as you grow old, using footwears that is not suitable for exit or for such activities can have an effect on your foot, especially within your Achilles tendon or any part of your foot that may result into some injuries as the time that you will grow old. So always make sure that it's acceptable. You can also, especially when it comes to doing the routines, always make sure that you and always assess if you can do such exercises so that the risk of injury is lesser. So additional inputs. So circuit training can be a fantastic addition to your fitness routine. So, however, it is essential to consider your fitness goals. As what I have said, plan ahead your training so that you will know what is your goal, what can be done, and if there are some things that may hinder you to achieve the goals, then maybe you can omit it or increase the intensity or what so on and so forth. So it should be, since that you are doing this, and you should not be demotivated in doing such routines or doing such training. So you should really assess yourself on where you are right now when it comes to your fitness. So always assess yourself. Next, we have the high intensity interval training. So compared to the circuit training, high intensity interval training is focused on more into cardio exercises. So HIIT workouts involve performing exercises at a high intensity, which usually uses 80 to 95% of your maximum heart rate for a set duration. So intervals, so the workout alternates between high intensity effort and lower intensity recovery. So common ratios when doing HIIT is 30 seconds of work or exercise followed by 30 seconds of rest. Then, if you want to have to increase intensity, then maybe on the next routine or on the next session that you will be doing the exercise or doing the routine, then maybe you can increase it for 40 seconds of work followed by 20 seconds of rest. So, the high intensity interval training can include a mix of cardio, like sprinting or cycling or strength training, but still, there is the percentage of cardio is higher. So, short duration, HIIT workouts can be relatively short. So, it compared to the circuit to the previous to the circuit training, so it can often range between 10 to 30 minutes, making them efficient, especially if you are very busy. If you are if you are a busy person. So the benefits. So it's time efficient. As what I have said, it's the time, since it's very intense. It's very intense. The workout routine is very intense. Expectedly, you will really you should finish the routine lesser compared to the circuit training. Then it can also improve fitness. Same with some exercises. But the main focus here compared to the circuit training is it boosts cardiovascular fitness, expectedly metabolic rate, and overall endurance, especially within your cardiovascular fitness. Expectedly also, it burns calories. So always, everything that we do, the activities that we are doing, moving, can help us burn calories. So the more that you consume a lot of calories, the more intense the workout should be. Then it's versatile, can be adapted to various fitness levels and preferences. Also, you can use equipment or do body weight exercises. So there are considerations. So there is what we call as the intensity level, especially if you are beginner. So don't go directly to, or don't perform directly to a high intensity or the higher intensity workouts. Especially if you're beginners, you should really start with a beginner time. Then recovery needs. So it's typically recommended to include rest days or lower intensity workouts in your routine so that your body can really keep up with the changes that you are undergoing, especially in doing high intensity interval training. So when you say recovery needs, so maybe 3 weeks or 3 days a week you are doing such intensity training. So in between those days, there is a lower intensity workouts that you can do. Maybe just walking or just using treadmill for you to just run, and just for your body to keep up with the demands. And if if you can, always consult your fitness professional, especially if you're doing this, or your PE teachers in doing this during the classes, or your professors. So there is what we call a sample HIIT workout. So we have the warm up expectedly. So you can do jogging or dynamic stretches and dynamic stretches. So here are some suggested HIIT training or HIIT exercises that you can do within specific set. You can do burpees, then rest, then mountain climbers, rest, high knees, rest, push-ups, rest. So as you can observe there is rest for your body to really prepare and prepare for the next exercise and to recuperate from the previous one that you were able to do. Then expectedly, you will have the cool down exercise. Always remember that HIIT is a flexible and effective workout strategy that can help you achieve your fitness goals in a short amount of time, because the more that we do exercise, the more intense our exercises, the more calories we burn, then the faster that we can do or we can observe changes within our body. But then again, most of you are beginners, so always start with a beginner intensity, so that your body will not be shocked and you will not experience over fatigue. So, as same with the previous training or workout routine that I was able to present to you, there are advantages. So, time efficient. Then increase caloric burn because it's very or it's an intense workout. Then it improves cardiovascular fitness. It usually it's very focused on the VO2 or the maximal heart rate that you can really achieve when improve or especially when improving your cardiovascular fitness. So it's your VO2 max or maximal oxygen rate is your body's ability to use oxygen during exercise. So it increase. If you are still a beginner, especially in doing HIIT, then expect that your cardiovascular fitness is not that good. But as you perform this continuously every day, or within your planned exercise or your planned workout routine, it can increase the the maximal heart rate can really increase, which is a significant turnout that you can really, or your cardiovascular fitness is doing good or it's improving. Then it's very versatile. Same with the um, circuit training. So it can also can adapt to different fitness level. Then no equipment is necessary. So you can just use this, or you can just perform this using, or you can same with the circuit training, body weight, body weights or dumbbells, especially if you are really into, aside from improving your cardiovascular fitness, you can also improve your musculoskeletal fitness. Then, variety and engagement. You can do this with groups or with you alone, for you to prevent boredom, especially if you can't do or if you are not doing anything within a day. So disadvantages of HIIT. So we have risk of injury. That's why um, you should really be able to know what's the proper forms of each of these um, exercises, so that injuries um, will not be experienced. Then it's not suitable for everyone, especially if people with heart conditions. So it's always you should really make sure that you were able to talk with your personal fitness coach or your PE professors, so that they can um, assist you with what you can do. Then recovery needs. So heat can be taxing on the body. So overtraining can lead to fatigue. So decreased performance, and also they can decrease the performance or even burnout. That's why, as what I have said earlier, there is a slow intensity exercises in between the high intensity exercises routine that you were able to do within a day. So the next day, maybe you can do lower intensity so that your body can recuperate and do, and it cannot lead you to burnout. Then it's limited focus on strength because HIIT is focused on cardio training. So if you're into bulking, maybe other type of exercises will suit you. Then potential for overexertion. So because HIIT is very competitive and can lead individuals to push themselves too hard, which might not be suitable or safe. Always perform what you can do. That's the main tip of doing HIIT. This is not a competition against everyone, it's a competition against yourself. But you should really perform this in what you can do as of now. Then equipment needs for advanced workouts. So some HIIT routines may require specific equipment like kettlebells or resistance bands. But then again, the simpler way for a person to do HIIT can just do the basics, especially the things, the list of exercises or the sample exercise routine that I was able to present to you earlier. Additional inputs, HIIT can be effective to many people. So again, as what I have said earlier, the main benefit of HIIT is it shows the the benefits within a short amount of time. But then again, because it's very intense, maybe some risk can be experienced. So always remember to approach it mindfully, ensuring proper technique, adequate recovery, and a focus on individual fitness levels. Okay? Last, the Tabata. Tabata is a specific type of HIIT training. So, same with the HIIT, since it's a variety of or variation of a HIIT training, so it also focuses on intense burst of exercises and also focused on cardio exercises. So its key features are the following. So we have structure. A typical Tabata workout consists of 8 rounds of 20 seconds of maximum effort followed by 10 seconds rest, which totals just 4 minutes of intense exercise. Then exercises, can include or may include bodyweight movements like squats or push-ups. Intensity. The goal is to give maximum effort during the work intervals. So again, same with the high intensity interval training, it improves your maximal heart rate. Then, same with the HIIT, since it's a variation of HIIT, it can last within 4 minutes only. So what are the benefits? So it's very efficient. It's same with the previous exercises. Again, all exercises can increase metabolic rate. Okay? So it depends on you what type of exercises that you are going to do. And each exercises can lead to additional calorie burn. It also improves endurance, especially if there is increased intensity every after sessions. So it's very varied. So you can mix and match with different types of exercises, especially if you are a person that can easily be or get bored with the routines. Maybe you can change or tweak a little bit of the workout routines that you're expected to do so that you will not be burned out or you will be looking forward to the next sets of exercises that you are going to do for the succeeding days. Then there's no equipment needed. You can just, or maybe if you can, especially that if you're into bulking, maybe you can incorporate body weights into doing such exercises. So same sample workout, Tabata workout. So automatically 5 minutes of light cardio or dynamic stretching. So with the workout routine, so repeat for 4 minutes. If it's up to you, the intensity or whatsoever. So 20 seconds of burpees, then rest, then push up, rest, jumping jacks, rest, squats, rest. So as you can see there, there is again rest. Again, rest is experienced right every set or right every exercises for your body to recuperate and prepare for the next one. Then there is what we call as the cool down exercise, which relaxes your muscles and prevents injuries or decreases the chances of you having muscle cramps. So the advantages. So we have the time efficiency. So as what I have said earlier, it's always it's within the short period of time you were able to intensify training or to experience high intensity training. So high caloric burn. So the higher the intensity of your exercise, the higher the chances that you can burn calories. Then improve endurance, especially when it comes to your cardio. It may be aerobic or anaerobic endurance. Then it's very versatile. Then it doesn't need a lot of equipment, and you can engage a lot of exercises. In between exercises can keep workouts exciting and prevent boredom, especially on what you are now used to the previous routines. Intensify it so that you will not be bored. Disadvantage, it's high intensity. So may not be suitable for beginners. So if you I suggest that before doing the workout routines that we are expected to do for this module 2, I suggest especially everyone to start having some simple walks or jog so that your body will be prepared on the activities that we are going to do for the module 2. Since this is an exercise, so there is a risk of injury. That's why as early as now, do simple exercises so that your body will not be shocked by the time that you are going to do this during our class sessions. Then, recovery needs. So, due to intensity, adequate recovery time is necessary to avoid fatigue and potential burnout. That's why there is what we call as rest days in between sessions. Then, limited strength focus. Since this is a variety of HIIT training, so it's focused only for cardio conditioning. Then mental challenge. So the high intensity can be mentally challenging, especially if you want to perform such intensity. So maybe the motivation that, especially if you weren't able to perform it properly, then the motivation may decrease. That's why you should really perform what you can do still. Again, you are competing with yourself, not competing with others. So additional inputs. So Tabata is an effective and time-efficient workout that can deliver significant fitness benefits. Same as with HIIT training. So always remember that it's very important to approach the exercises thoughtfully, mindfully, and very demure so that you will not be burned out regardless of what type of exercises principle that you are going to, or workouts that you are going to perform. Always manage it. Always think of what can be the benefits of doing such exercises. Don't think that this is a required activity for you because it's PE, but always make sure that it's for you. It's for you to have a better health in the future. We are not getting any younger, so as early as now, as young as you are, you should really incorporate doing exercises as part of your routine or as part of your daily activity, because by the time that we grow old, our body will, especially its efficiency, will really decrease. So always get moving. So distinct features of the workout routine. So comparing the effectivity of the Bata, circuit training, and HIIT, which looks into different several factors. So especially when it comes to time, caloric burn, cardiovascular and muscular benefits, and overall effectiveness for different fitness. So there is what we call as distinct features on each of these, so that you will really be able to have the differences among the three. So circuit training, it's time efficiency. It usually lasts within 20 to 60 minutes, depending on the number of exercises and sets or rounds. So moderate to high caloric burn, depending on the exercise intensity and type. Then, its cardiovascular benefits. It's good for cardiovascular health, especially if exercises are performed with minimal rest. Then, muscular benefits. Strong focus on strength training, because this is the main focus of the circuit training. And it's best for seeking a balanced workout that combines strength and cardio. And also, it's ideal for overall fitness and muscle building. So that's circuit training for you. When it comes to HIIT, the distinct features of it when it comes to time efficiency, so it's lesser compared to the circuit training. It's also, when it comes to caloric burn, it offers high caloric expenditure. Then cardiovascular benefits, it improves cardiovascular benefits and maximal heart rate, and it improves your cardiovascular fitness. Muscular benefits can incorporate strength training, allowing muscle building if resistance exercises are included. But compared to the circuit training, muscle development or muscle building doing HIIT is not that it's not the focus of this exercise routine or exercise workout. And it's best for those people who are looking for versatile workouts that improves both endurance and strength in a short amount of time. Then, when it comes to Tabata workout, when it comes to time efficiency, it only lasts for 4 minutes. 8 rounds, 20 seconds work, and 10 seconds rest. When it comes to caloric burn, it offers high caloric burn in a short time due to intensity. And it's very effective for fat loss. So cardiovascular benefits, it's very excellent for improving both aerobic and anaerobic capacity in a short duration. Then when it comes to muscular benefits, limited muscle building due to the short duration. That's why if you're into muscle building, do circuit training. If you're into improving your cardiovascular fitness, do HIIT. Then it's best for individuals looking for quick, high-intensity workouts to improve endurance and burn calories. So those are the distinct features of each of those workout principles that I was able to discuss to you today. So in conclusion, so each training method has its strengths and its best. The best choice depends on the individual fitness goals. Again, plan ahead what you are expected to do based on the workout principle that you are going to do or you are expected to do. And also the available time and the personal preferences. Because if you are not considering these three, don't expect that there will be developments in the future, especially if you are not that motivated in doing such routines or doing such workouts. So Tabata is great for in conclusion, Tabata is great for quick bursts. HIIT is versatile, and circuit training offers a balanced approach to fitness. So it's up to you what type of workout you are going to do. So before I'll end this discussion, always get yourself moving. There's a typo, but get yourself moving. Always, always. So I think that's all for now. And I hope you were able to learn something out of the 3 workout principles that I was able to discuss to you. That's all for now, and goodbye and God bless.